Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. I am your meteorologist, Mr. G, your student from Mississippi State University, pursuing that degree in meteorology. And we are enjoying a rainy night here across much of the Midwest, from Minnesota all the way to Ohio and across the Great Lakes. That big storm that's been moving across the center of the country has been spreading some rain, sometimes heavy, and we've been seeing thunderstorms further to the south through the parts of the central and southern plains. So we've been seeing some thunderstorms and severe weather further to the south. But up here in the northern territory, we are dealing with cooler and very wet conditions. It has rained all day here in the Twin Cities. It's been raining nonstop since yesterday afternoon. So a very big storm, a potent storm that's been moving across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. Our city of the day is the windy city of Chicago, and it's definitely going to be windy as that area of low pressure moves overhead. And on the backside of that storm, we're going to be seeing those strong gusty winds ushering in with that colder air. So we're going to see those temperatures drop into the 30s and 40s, but we're going to be seeing winds up to 40 miles per hour across the Midwest on the back end of that storm system. So things are fairly quiet right now as the wind, because our storm is still a little bit further to the west and is very slow moving. It's not a very progressive pattern right now. We have a Rex block in place, so that is causing our storm system to move rather slowly. So we're going to continue to see those rain showers tonight, and they will eventually come to an end late tonight or early tomorrow morning. We're going to see those showers end across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois as that storm swings through Michigan and toward the Northeast and the Ohio Valley. So let's talk about the forecast for the rest of the lower 48. All right, so as we cover the forecast for the rest of the country, and we're going to be taking a look at our first map. Here it's going to be our weekend pattern that we're going to be seeing overhead, and we have a nice Rex block in place, and we're going to be seeing our deep trough here across the Northeast from the Great Lakes, Canada, the Great Lakes, and New England out there. We see this nice trough in the jet stream. That is a lot of jet stream energy. So we have our very powerful storm wound up in this region right here. And that's going to be spreading that rain all the way into the Northeast and into New England and Canada as well. But out here to the west, a high amplitude ridge is in place. So we will see very nice weather and dry weather across the western 2/3 of the United States. It's warm across the southwest as they have deep layer high pressure in place down toward the southwest. So fairly warm temperatures, nice and pleasant across the Rockies and the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. So nice weather out west, rather stormy to the east. Pretty nice down toward the southeast as well. We still see a few rain showers with some tropical moisture across southern Florida, but we are going to be seeing improving weather conditions across the deep south and the southeast with less humidity and cooler temperatures. And we're going to be seeing cool weather drop down from the north into Texas and the Central Plains and parts of the Mid-South as well. So you're finally going to get rid of some of that humidity and that oppressive heat, where we're going to see those temperatures drop pretty substantially down into the 60s, and those dew points will become quite comfortable, as well as we see dew points into the 40s and 50s. So improving weather across a major section of the country, but pretty stormy across the big cities of the Northeast and the Great Lakes. So if you are anywhere from Boston all the way to Minneapolis today and down to DC and Charlotte, going to be dealing with stormy weather, heavy rain, some thunder and lightning periodically, and gusty winds and cooler temperatures as well. So you're going to continue to deal with that powerful storm throughout the night tonight and into your day on Saturday. And here we are as we take a closer look at that big storm. A very dynamic storm. We have a nice cold front sweeping across here, a warm front lifting to the north. So we have a nice triple point, and it's in this region right here that we can see some of those thunderstorms and potentially some severe storms as well. And we're going to see showers and thunderstorms right here across the mid-Atlantic. So parts of North Carolina and Virginia and maybe into Maryland, we're going to see the strong to severe thunderstorms as we have tropical moisture coming up from the southeast here. So a lot of humidity, a lot of fuel for thunderstorms, and a lot of moisture for lots of rain. So we're going to see a lot of steady rain along our cold front and our warm front as well. We're going to see a lot of rain showers and some embedded thunderstorms across that region into the Northeast and New England. But meanwhile, check out the backside. So there's a story behind here. So behind the showers across the Great Lakes, across the Midwest, and the plains, we're going to see cold. It's going to feel downright cold and windy. So chilly temperatures in the 40s and 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we will develop quite a bit of a wind chill with some of this as well. So it's going to feel colder than it actually is with this very powerful storm. So as we move into your Saturday and Saturday night, we're going to be seeing that storm here. Look at this. This is that windy wind on the backside moving across the Midwest. We're still going to see scattered showers across Michigan and Ohio, maybe parts of northern Illinois and Indiana. We're going to still see more rain showers tomorrow night. We're going to see those rain showers and thunderstorms moving into the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey here, New York City and Pennsylvania, not Pennsylvania, but Connecticut and Rhode Island. We're going to see those showers with embedded thunderstorms. So again, that storm continues to create havoc and cause airport delays, traffic delays. So the railways as well may see some delays as we have some of that nasty weather to contend with across the eastern third of the United States tomorrow. And as we move into your Sunday, that storm is still not over yet. It's going to be very slow moving. So finally, the area of low pressure will move offshore, but still be close enough to influence the weather across the Northeast. So we're going to have a northeasterly wind coming sort of like a nor'easter. We're going to see northerly winds, northwesterly winds on the further back here toward the west over Ohio and West Virginia. We're going to see those winds blowing in and still some scattered showers. So showery, damp conditions and those blustery winds. So it's going to feel a bit chilly more than what you've been used to. So it's going to be an adjustment. So we have this very powerful storm for early fall. So an early fall storm is making quite the impact as it moves from west to east. We do have a little bit of action in the tropics. Tropical storm Sean is slowly weakening out here as it's going to make a move toward the Caribbean islands. So Puerto Rico, you might be to pick up some rain showers as our tropical system moves toward the west and moves to the north of some of the islands in the Caribbean, Haiti and Dominican Republic, Cuba as well. This storm might affect those areas with a little bit of wind and a little bit of rain, but our storm has weakened quite a bit It's a minimal tropical storm with 40-mile-per-hour winds. So I don't anticipate it getting much stronger than what it is. So it's just going to be a tropical storm, maybe drop down to a tropical depression as we move into midweek next week. So we have to talk about an annular eclipse that is happening tomorrow. Very excited. Unfortunately, bad news for a lot of people. You won't really get to see it. I don't expect to be able to see it here, even though in Minneapolis, here where I am, we're going to be about 40 to 50% coverage for the eclipse. But we're going to have a lot of clouds around the fjord. So if you're in the Northeast, not going to happen because you're going to be stuck in the rain. So rain across the Northeast and the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest. And we're going to be seeing some clouds in the area. But if you're down in the Southwest, we're across South Texas, over New Mexico and Arizona, where we're going to see 100% coverage of the eclipse. You guys are going to see most of it, just a few clouds here and there, but you are under the influence of a very powerful, strong dome of high pressure. So beautiful weather down here towards the southwest. You're going to have optimal viewing conditions for the eclipse. So what is an annular eclipse? An annular eclipse is when the moon moves between the earth and the sun. But right now, the moon is further away from the earth, so it doesn't completely cover the sun. It moves in front of the sun, but you do see what's called the ring of fire, the edge of the sun around the moon. You can actually see the edge of the sun, so it looks like a ring of fire. That's what an annular eclipse is. So I hope many of you get to see it, especially down across Texas and the Southwest, where you're going to see the 100% of the eclipse. But unfortunately, further to the north, in the Northeast, you're not going to see, even though you're going to see less of the eclipse the further you get away from it. But you're going to have a lot of clouds and rain, so I'm forecasting a 0% chance tomorrow, if you're in the Northeast or the Great Lakes or the upper Midwest, that you're going to see that eclipse tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm bummed about that. So let's talk about a little bit of the long range projections here as we move into the next week. And what we're seeing here is cooler weather moving across the country, but we still are going to see, I'm going to step over here where you can see most of the map of the U.S. And down here across the Southwest, I'm going to expect to see temperatures warm up back to the triple digits down here across the Southwest next week as we move into a warmer period across the Southwest. But that means more troughing across the East and cooler weather across the East and warmer weather across the West. Cold enough for snow across the Rockies up here through the weekend and into the upcoming work week. So, and as we take a closer look at what's going on across the Southwest, this is for as we move into Tuesday next week. That's going to be the warmest day of the week, but pretty much most of the week till about Friday, we can see 100-degree temperature across the Southwest. So Yuma and Needles, California, Blythe, Palm Springs, Barstow, maybe Phoenix could see that 100 degrees. So it could be 101 to about 103 degrees across the Southwest, especially within that Tuesday to Wednesday time frame. So we have that big storm. This is our big storm moving across the upper Midwest now. We're seeing that heavy rain, and we're seeing that rain spread across the New England and into the mid-Atlantic states. But notice how it's staying further to the south instead of moving up in the Northeast. That's because of high pressure in the North Atlantic is forcing our storm a more further to the south track. Here is another storm system coming in the Pacific Northwest. That storm is going to move across the northern U.S. and Canadian border as we move through the week next week, and that's going to spread some rain showers across parts of Minnesota and things as we move into next week. So we're going to see another storm system, and that storm system is also going to break off and drop further to the south and spread rain showers in the mid-Atlantic and the southeast by we get to next weekend. So again, another storm is going to move from west to east. And if you can look at the pattern here, you can see exactly why that storm is taking that track. And this is pretty much what you see in the jet stream. You see that big dip right here across the southeast, and that's going to be making that storm drop to the south as it comes across the northern plains off the Pacific Northwest, going to move along the U.S. and Canadian border. Then it's going to get to the upper Midwest, Minnesota, and then turn to the right and drop to the southeast before heading off to the northeast off the Atlantic coast. All right, so here we are as we take a look at our storm again for Tuesday. This is for October 21st, and we're going to see again that storm moving off the shore, and we're going to see another storm coming in into the Pacific Northwest along the Canadian border. Again, here's another storm across the Midwest. Again, another storm that's going to bring some rain showers to Minnesota. There it is on this map, and you see that storm with those rain showers and rain showers across the Midwest. Some severe thunderstorms will take place in the southern plains. So Texas, Oklahoma, and parts of Arkansas and Louisiana could see some severe thunderstorms as we move into next Friday. So again, another storm that's going to move from west to east, but drop further to the southeast. Again, here's that storm as it drops to the southeast, and this is going to be for your week next week. At the end of next week, when you see that storm dropping to the southeast, that's going to spread rain across the mid-Atlantic and the southeast and down across the state of Florida. We're going to see showers and thunderstorms. Now, let's talk about snow. Now this is just I was playing around with the models and looking out ahead in the models. And as I went through the models, this is going to be for the GFS. Now, the GFS, the long range, the further out you go, all right, now it just says first its and giggles, okay? So we're going to see the potential for our first snow across the upper Midwest, so Minnesota here down, not Minnesota, Iowa down into Illinois. We could see the potential for some snow, and then across parts of southern Michigan, we could see some snow as we move into late October. So October 28th or so, we're going to see possibly some snow, the first snow across the upper Midwest. And then we're going to see that snow potential across the Northeast and New England. Maybe the potential for some lake effect snow here across Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Again, some more lake effect snow. But we do see the potential for some heavy rain as we have another storm system making its way up the East Coast. And this is again going to be for toward the end of the month of October, where we're going to be dealing with that potential there for some snow. So the first snowfall is, at least in the model projections, I want to see this continue over several model runs. Probably won't happen. More than likely, it's not going to pan out at least exactly like this. I like the Euro, but the GFS goes out further than the Euro, but that makes it less accurate. But the fact that I'm seeing that in the model runs already is interesting, and I'm playing with it and having fun with it. But I'm not putting any stock in it. I'm not one of these guys. There's a lot of guys on YouTube and TikTok who will see things in the models, right? They will see something in the forecast model and run with it and say, oh, it's going to snow just because it's in the models. The models is a guideline. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what you have to forecast. The models is just a guide on how to model the forecast. You can tweak it and use your experience and knowledge of the weather to say, okay, that doesn't look right. You need to evaluate the pattern that you've seen what makes sense. If it seems like too extreme for the time of the year, if other things don't quite match up, you can't run with these. These guys don't have that full meteorological knowledge because they don't go to school for meteorology. They're not being trained. They read a couple of things, some books maybe. They learned some terms because you know what barometric pressure is, or you might know how to know about certain things. You know dictionary terms, but you don't know what that stuff means. You don't know how it actually influences the weather, how to use that data to interpret the weather and forecast the weather. Ryan Hall. I mean, there's a lot of people that I can name drop that do this and they don't know what they're talking about and got 500,000 followers. I don't know how it works. What works with, because they like the sensationalism. They use terms in their videos and say, "Oh, a massive storm." They use sensational terms in their titles to get people to waste their time. Because all they got to do is click on your video and watch for 30 seconds, and then YouTube counts it as a view. So you can manipulate the viewers and waste their time and putting out stupid information and giving it fancy titles to make people, they clickbait you. So that's probably how some, I don't know. But anyway, you got to get nothing but the facts here. A real meteorologist coming at you right now with the real information, and I'm gonna break it down, give you the details, tell you why different things are happening. You watch how detailed my forecasts are. So anyway, that's all we have for today, guys. Gonna keep tracking this big storm as it makes a mess across the northern eastern tier half of the country, and gonna track it as it slowly, hopefully by Monday, this thing is not influencing our weather very much anymore. So until then, have a good weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow and Sunday. Mr. G is going to try to keep the videos coming. I've been off a lot because I have homework, but I kind of feel bad when I don't get you guys videos and things like that. Even though I'm trying to do my homework and things like that and my studies, but this is important too. So anyway, guys, have a good night. I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow on TikTok, okay? Bye-bye.